The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and gonna know each other, and then we wanna.
The much-anticipated fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford had finally been confirmed, creating a buzz throughout the boxing community. After months of rumors, speculation, and behind-the-scenes talks, the two icons agreed to face off in September 2025. It felt like a dream matchup, with two of the sport's greatest set to collide. But just when everything seemed to be on track, a shocking twist occurred. Canelo unexpectedly.
The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford. Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
That'll work. Yeah, so if yeah, you're in.
Both Canelo and Crawford were present at the prestigious Ring Magazine Awards in London, where their discussions with Saudi boxing chief Alec reached a pivotal stage. Alec, now one of boxing's most influential figures, had been tirelessly working to bring this fight to life. Photos of the two fighters alongside him after their meeting quickly went viral. Fans were thrilled, as reliable sources, including ESPN's boxing expert Julius Julianis, confirmed the deal was officially in place.
Fans, some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed.
This wasn't just any fight, it was shaping up to be a monumental showdown, potentially defining a generation. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion at 168 pounds, was set to face Terence Crawford, the WBA champion at 154 pounds, who was willing to move up 2 weight classes for the opportunity. It was a bold move by Crawford, but he was ready for the challenge. Canelo, dominant at 168 pounds, had been hesitant about the fight in the past, thinking there was little to gain and too much to lose. After Crawford defeated Edgar Bunga and called him out, Canelo dismissed the idea, saying, "If I beat him, people will just say he's too small." However, things changed, and Canelo seemed more open to the idea. During the awards weekend, he said, "There's always a chance. We'll see. But there's always a chance. Anything is possible."
I can't go down anymore. But like he say, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody.
For Crawford, this moment had been years in the making. At 37 years old, he knew his time was limited, but he also understood the immense potential this fight had to elevate his legacy. Having already conquered 4 weight classes, Crawford knew that winning against Canelo would make him a 5-weight world champion, solidifying his place in boxing history. The financial rewards were substantial as well. Al Sheikh promised a deal that would make this one of the richest bouts in boxing history. For Crawford, it was a chance to secure his future while chasing greatness. For Canelo, it was a chance to reaffirm his place among the best pound-for-pound fighters.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down.
Just as it seemed everything was falling into place, doubts resurfaced. The same issues that had delayed the fight previously came back to haunt the negotiations. The most pressing concern was the weight difference. Canelo is a natural super middleweight at 168 pounds, while Crawford would need to gain 14 pounds to reach that weight. That's a huge challenge for any fighter, not just in terms of adding muscle, but also in maintaining speed, stamina, and strength while facing a bigger opponent. Canelo had voiced similar concerns in the past, saying, "I have nothing to gain and everything to lose. He is still too small for me." Even now, despite the fight seemingly being confirmed, those doubts hadn't disappeared.
Since we're on the same topic, what do we think about this fight with Canelo and Crawford if it's at 168?
Him saying it's an easy fight, he's out of his damn mind.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you're the most.
Crawford, however, saw this as a challenge he was more than ready to take on. He understood the risks but also saw the massive reward. Beating Canelo would cement his place among the greatest in history, erasing any doubts about his legacy. For someone who had already achieved so much, this fight was the perfect way to cap an extraordinary career. Both fighters had their motivations. For Canelo, the pool of challengers at 168 pounds was thinning, and he had already defeated many of the top contenders. A fight with Crawford brought fresh excitement. For Crawford, it was all about proving himself against the best, even if it meant stepping into unfamiliar territory.
Based on last fight is a 50-50. So Canelo fights an undisputed champ, up-and-coming former champion, and an up-and-coming undefeated contender. And somehow those three last opponents are somehow compared to Bud's Madrimov fight, making it.
Fans found themselves torn between excitement and anxiety. They were eager to see the fight, but they knew how tricky these deals could be. While the talks were progressing, that didn't guarantee everything was finalized. Alec himself added to the suspense with a cryptic statement, "The ring is the Bible of boxing, and we are close to seeing the white smoke on the horizon." 2025 will be a crazy year for boxing, and I mean it. Anticipation was building, but so were the challenges. Canelo needed to overcome the notion that he had more to lose, while Crawford had to push his body to new limits.
Come back down to 47 and meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
For now, the fight remains one of the most eagerly awaited events in boxing. Riyadh Seasons Turkey, Al Sheikh, has been central to the negotiations, working tirelessly to make the dream fight a reality. Canelo is defending his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles, while Crawford, at 37 years old, is moving up 2 weight classes in a bold bid to become a 5-weight world champion. Achieving that would be historic, but the challenge ahead is immense. One fighter who has been vocal about the matchup is WBO super lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez.
Respectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, you know, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you ask him about that because you say, you're my...
In an interview with ES News, Lopez shared his thoughts on the fight. While praising Crawford's skills, Lopez ultimately favored Canelo, predicting a late stoppage in favor of the Mexican champion. "It's a big money fight," Lopez said. "Overall, we'll all be winners watching those two fight. I think Crawford will give Canelo a tough time at first, but once Canelo adjusts and finds his rhythm, I see him finishing Crawford in the later rounds."
Able to walk through me. Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford. So
Lopez's prediction reflects what many fans and experts believe. Crawford may trouble Canelo early on with his skill and sharpness, but the power and size of the super middleweight king could be too much over 12 rounds. Although no official venue has been confirmed, rumors suggest the fight will take place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. The 65,000-seat stadium would be the perfect setting for a showdown of this magnitude. If it happens, it will be an unforgettable spectacle, with fans from around the globe flocking to see two legends face off in Sin City.
Crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
As excitement builds, Amir Khan, one of the few fighters to have faced both Canelo and Crawford, weighed in on the upcoming bout. Speaking from experience, Khan acknowledged the unique challenges both fighters would face but emphasized that Canelo's size could ultimately be the deciding factor. "Canelo is a beast," Khan said. "I've fought both of them, and size always wins. That's why we have weight divisions in boxing." Khan, who was knocked out by Canelo in the 6th round in 2016, knows the dangers of facing a fighter like Alvarez. While he praised Crawford's talents, Khan made it clear that the weight difference is a real challenge. Terence is special, but he's going up against Canelo. What a fight it would be.
He's bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, you know, because you'd have to gain like, what, 20 pounds? Yeah. But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, you know what I mean? Catch weight. You can do something that...
Khan also questioned whether Crawford truly needed to take such a risky fight at this stage in his career. Does he need this fight? No. He's already achieved so much. He's one of the best pound-for-pound, Khan said. But if it's a big payday, I understand why it's happening. Despite his concerns, Khan praised Crawford's skill and drive, acknowledging his ability to compete at the highest level, but also warning of the dangers of facing a bigger, stronger opponent. We don't want to see fighters get hurt, Khan added.
Work and good head movement at times, but I'm a different fighter. You know, I'm a different type of animal.
For Canelo, the challenge lies in facing a fighter as technically brilliant and adaptable as Crawford. While he's faced elite opposition before, Crawford's slick style could present a difficult puzzle to solve. Fans are torn between excitement and worry. On one hand, this is a dream matchup between two of the best fighters of their generation, but on the other hand, some fear that Crawford might be taking on more than he can handle. Canelo has spent years dominating bigger opponents, while Crawford will be stepping into the ring as the smaller fighter for the first time in his career. But Crawford is on the brink of one of the most ambitious fights in boxing history, a showdown with the reigning super middleweight king, Canelo Alvarez. For Crawford, this isn't just a title fight, it's a chance to cement his legacy as one of the sport's greatest. But can he overcome Canelo's size, power, and experience? Many believe he can find inspiration in Floyd Mayweather's 2013 victory over Canelo, but replicating that performance will be much more challenging given the changes in both fighters since then.
I think Canelo's gonna put the beats on him like Dr. Dre.
Do we get a knockdown from Canelo, or does Bud knock down Canelo?
Nah, Canelo's not going down. You could hit Canelo with a Louisville slugger. He's just gonna smile at you.
They ain't say gonna beat him like the beats of Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he's gonna put the beats on him. Like.
You think they're going to beat him like the beats of Dr. Dre? A commentator asked. Yeah, he's going to put the beats on him like Dre. But why? Because in 2013, the younger Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather, who delivered a masterclass. But since then, Canelo has grown into a stronger, more refined fighter. Today, he is a more experienced and powerful version of himself. Crawford, while an exceptional boxer, faces a huge challenge in trying to replicate Mayweather's success against this new Canelo.
Look at the champion, y'all. He running all the way from his mama house to home. Dedication.
One of the biggest hurdles for Crawford is his lack of experience at super middleweight. Unlike most fighters who test a new weight class with a tune-up fight, Crawford is diving straight into the deep end against one of the hardest-hitting fighters in the sport. This bold move carries risks. His performance at junior middleweight against Israel Madrero wasn't as convincing as many had hoped. Crawford seemed slower and less explosive than the fighter who dominated lighter weight classes. Against a seasoned super middleweight like Canelo, these vulnerabilities could be costly. Commentator Aol Adipo captured the sentiment perfectly in his DAZN analysis. If Crawford is going to have a fight again, there's no one at 154 he wants to face. Crawford's focus has been solely on Canelo, bypassing other top contenders at 154 and 168 pounds. While names like Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz might not have the same appeal, they could have provided Crawford with valuable experience before moving up to super middleweight. For Crawford, this fight is all about legacy. Facing Canelo Alvarez, with his impressive 62-2 record and super middleweight titles, is a challenge like no other Crawford has faced. A win would make him a 5-weight world champion, but the consequences of a loss could be severe. If he were to lose badly, his undefeated record and reputation could suffer a significant blow. Fans respect Crawford's ambition, but questions remain about whether this is the right fight for him at this stage in his career.
We in here working. Get back on the mat. Get back on the mat. Getting back on the mat.
Canelo, standing at 5 feet 9 inches and with a muscular frame, has consistently overpowered opponents who lack his size and strength. Crawford, at 5 feet 8 inches, will need to draw lessons from other fighters who've troubled Canelo. Gennady Golovkin and Dmitry Bivol have shown that Canelo can be vulnerable when faced with intelligent boxing and disciplined strategies. If Crawford hopes to succeed, he'll need to implement a similar game plan while managing Canelo's pressure.
Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but
Crawford has the tools to execute such a strategy, with his ability to switch stances, adjust mid-fight, and control tempo. But it's easier said than done against a fighter like Canelo, who has shown an incredible ability to adapt as the fight progresses. Crawford will need to be at his best, both physically and mentally, to outmaneuver Alvarez. One key player in bringing the fight to life is Al Schick, whose involvement adds extra significance to the event.
People will say the most skilled boxer, period, pound for pound right now, so we're talking about skills, nothing else. It's Shakur Stevenson. A lot will say that. Guess who Shakur Stevenson looks up to? Goes to every fight, trains with him, talks about him all the time.
For Crawford, the stakes couldn't be higher. A poor performance could jeopardize future opportunities, especially if Al Schick shifts focus to other big matchups. The pressure is on Crawford to deliver a career-defining performance.
405. 405.
Former heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder expressed concerns about Crawford's jump from welterweight to super middleweight. Wilder warned about the challenges of facing bigger, stronger fighters. Moving up in weight changes everything, the way punches feel, Wilder said. Crawford is stepping into a new world against a fighter like Canelo.
I don't think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo.
Wilder also pointed out that punches are absorbed differently at higher weights. This only highlights the risks Crawford faces when stepping into the ring with Canelo. What do you think? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.